Princess MYRCELLA Baratheon was widely believed to be the only daughter of King Robert Baratheon and Queen Cersei Lannister. Her parents' marriage was a political alliance between House Baratheon and House Lannister following Robert's rebellion against the Mad King Aerys Targaryen. MYRCELLA had two brothers, Joffrey and Tommen, with whom she was close. However, unbeknownst to her and the rest of Westeros, her true father was Jaime Lannister, Cersei's twin brother and a member of the Kingsguard, making her and her siblings bastards born of incest. Despite the secret of her lineage, MYRCELLA was known for her kind and gentle nature, which was particularly fond of her uncle Tyrion Lannister. Following the death of Jon Arryn, MYRCELLA traveled north with her family to Winterfell. During their visit, Bran Stark suffered a serious fall, leaving his fate uncertain. While having breakfast with her mother, brothers, and Uncle Jaime, MYRCELLA asked if Bran would survive. Tyrion assured her that he was expected to live, which delighted her but unsettled Cersei. Tyrion then entertained MYRCELLA and Tommen by expressing his excitement about visiting the Wall, humorously stating his desire to urinate off its edge, much to Cersei's annoyance. MYRCELLA was present at the tournament, held in honor of Eddard Stark's appointment as Hand of the King. She witnessed the gruesome death of Sir Hugh of the Vale during his match against Sir Gregor Clegane the Mountain. Returning for the second day, she watched as Sir Loras Tyrell unseated Gregor, sparking a violent outburst that led Sandor Clegane to intervene. She applauded along with the crowd when Loras declared Sandor the champion, unaware of the dangerous political currents surrounding her family. MYRCELLA Baratheon attends her brother Joffrey's name day tournament, where she watches in horror as he cruelly orders Sir Meryn Trant to torture Dontos Hollard. She's relieved when her uncle Tyrion Lannister arrives and greets her warmly, calling her more beautiful than ever. When Joffrey coldly remarks that they had heard Tyrion was dead, MYRCELLA sincerely expresses her happiness that the rumors were false, to which Tyrion cheerfully agrees. At a formal dinner with her younger brother Tommen, her mother Cersei, and Sansa Stark, MYRCELLA innocently makes small talk with Sansa, asking if she will one day marry Joffrey. Cersei explains that the wedding will take place after the war, and MYRCELLA excitedly mentions the beautiful gown she will wear for the occasion. She also points out that Sansa, as the bride, will wear an ivory dress. Sansa, unaware of how to respond, politely recites the expected words about looking forward to her marriage as Cersei watches intently. As part of Tyrion's strategy to secure House Lannister's position in the War of the Five Kings, he arranges for MYRCELLA to marry Trystane Martell, the son of Dorne's ruling family. This alliance is meant to ensure House Martell's neutrality or support for the Lannisters. Though the wedding will not take place until she is older, MYRCELLA is to be sent to Dorne immediately to live among the Martells. When Cersei learns of this plan, she is furious, comparing it to how she was married off to Robert Baratheon. Tyrion argues that MYRCELLA as a princess was always destined to be part of a marriage alliance, and that she will be far safer in Dorne than in King's Landing during the Civil War. Despite Cersei's emotional protests, Tyrion stands firm, leaving her in tears. Before leaving, MYRCELLA plays in the gardens of the Red Keep, watched over by Septa Eglatine. Meanwhile, Cersei drunkenly lashes out at Tyrion, accusing him of heartlessly sending her daughter away. Tyrion insists that he truly cares for MYRCELLA's safety, calling her a sweet, innocent girl and adding, "I don't blame her at all for you." MYRCELLA later departs King's Landing on a ship bound for Sunspear, escorted by Sir Aerys Oakheart of the Kingsguard and Septa Eglatine. At the dock, she's given a formal send-off by her family, including Joffrey, Tommen, Cersei, Tyrion, and Sansa. The High Septon offers prayers for her safe journey, while Tommen, heartbroken over his sister's departure, begins to cry. Joffrey callously mocks him, showing no sympathy. Almost immediately after MYRCELLA sets sail, riots break out in King's Landing, throwing the capital into chaos. After Jaime Lannister returns to King's Landing, Cersei recounts all she had endured in his absence, including the painful reality that their daughter MYRCELLA was sent to Dorne to secure a political alliance. During King Joffrey's wedding to Margaery Tyrell, Prince Oberyn Martell crosses paths with Lord Tywin, the man he holds responsible for his sister Elya's brutal death at the hands of Sir Gregor Clegane, as they exchange tense pleasantries. Oberyn introduces his lover, Elyaris Sand, to MYRCELLA's mother, Cersei. Despite their political smiles, underlying hostility lingers between them. Before parting, Oberyn pointedly reminds Cersei and Tywin that MYRCELLA remains in Dorne, subtly hinting that a ward can easily become a hostage. However, he also takes the opportunity to taunt them, stating that unlike in Westeros, murdering little girls is not tolerated in Dorne. Following Joffrey's death at his wedding feast, Tommen is crowned king. With Stannis in open rebellion and deemed an unlawful claimant, MYRCELLA technically becomes the next in line for the Iron Throne. Later, Cersei expresses her sadness to Oberyn, admitting she had not seen MYRCELLA in over a year. Oberyn reassures her that the last time he saw MYRCELLA, she was happily playing in the water gardens with his daughters. Though Cersei wants to believe this, she remains skeptical, remarking that harm comes to little girls everywhere. She then asks Oberyn to deliver a gift to MYRCELLA, a beautifully crafted ship, built by the finest shipwrights in King's Landing, since she missed her name day and doesn't know when she will see her again. Oberyn agrees, promising to have it sent to Sunspear and to let MYRCELLA know that her mother misses her dearly. Later, while visiting Tyrion in his prison cell, Oberyn reflects on his conversation with Cersei. He wonders whether her longing for MYRCELLA was genuine or simply a calculated attempt to manipulate him into siding against Tyrion at the trial. Tyrion explains that Cersei Cersei often blends truth with deception to serve her own interests. While part of her may truly worry for Myrcella, she's never above using her grief as a tool for manipulation. Myrcella Baratheon enjoys a peaceful life in the water gardens of Dorne with her betrothed Trystane Martell, with whom she's fallen in love. However, she is secretly watched by Elyaris Sand and Prince Doran Martell. Still grieving Oberyn Martell's death, Elyaris seeks revenge on Cersei, whom she blames for the trial that led to Oberyn's fatal duel. She proposes torturing Myrcella and sending pieces of her back to King's Landing, but Doran refuses to harm her. As Myrcella and Trystane spend time together, she asks if he truly loves her or simply accepts their arranged marriage. Trystane assures her that his feelings are genuine. Watching them, Doran confides in his guard Aero Hotah about the potential dangers of uniting House Martell and House Lannister. Myrcella's peaceful life is disrupted when Jaime Lannister arrives in Dorne with Bronn. She's surprised and upset to see him and even more distressed when Bronn knocks Trystane unconscious. Before Jaime can convince her to leave, the Sand Snakes launch an ambush, attempting to capture Myrcella. Nymeria Sand nearly takes her hostage, but Aero Hotah and his guards intervene, arresting Jaime, Bronn, Eliara, and the Sand Snakes. Later, Myrcella visits Jaime in prison, where he warns her that Dorne has become dangerous and insists she must return to King's Landing. However, Myrcella, having grown attached to her new home, refuses. She declares her love for Trystane and her commitment for staying in Dorne, leaving Jaime frustrated. During a diplomatic meeting, Myrcella sits beside Trystane as Doran and Jaime negotiate. When Jaime comments on her revealing Dornish attire, she confidently replies that she's comfortable and enjoys the warmer climate, emphasizing her bond with Doran. She is initially displeased upon hearing that King Tommen wants her to return, but she is reassured when Doran announces that Trystane will accompany her, a request Jaime accepts. Eliara later visits Jaime and acknowledges that Myrcella is his daughter, conceived through incest with Cersei. She admits that Myrcella bears no guilt for Oberyn's death and apologizes, though Jaime remains suspicious for her intentions. As Myrcella prepares to leave, she says her goodbyes to Doran and Elia. In an act of deception, Eliara kisses her on the lips, having secretly coated them with a deadly poison. Aboard the ship to King's Landing, Myrcella shares a heartfelt moment with Jaime, revealing that she has always known he is her father, and expressing her happiness about it. Just as they embrace, the poison takes effect and she collapses in Jaime's arms, blood dripping from her nose, marking a tragic end to her story. After Myrcella's death, Jaime Lannister returns to King's Landing with her body. Cersei, waiting at the port, immediately understands from Jaime's sorrowful expression that they were too late to save her from the Martells. Both Jaime and Cersei correctly deduce that Doran Martell had no involvement in the murder, suspecting that Eliara Sand and the Sand Snakes were responsible. Enraged, Jaime sent a letter to Doran demanding the execution of Eliara, Obara, Nymeria, and Tyne for Myrcella's death. However, before any justice could be served, the Sand Snakes overthrow Doran, killing both him and Trystane, seizing control of Dorne. Myrcella is laid to rest in the Great Sept of Baelor, where Jaime and King Tommen stand vigil. To their outrage, the High Sparrow forbids Cersei from attending her daughter's funeral. Myrcella is dressed in a golden gown, eerily fulfilling the prophecy that Cersei's children would all be buried in gold shrouds. Later, Myrcella's body is destroyed when Cersei ignites the Great Sept with wildfire, eliminating her enemies within but also reducing her daughter's remains to ashes. Meanwhile, Eliara Sand and the Sand Snakes align themselves with Daenerys Targaryen after learning of her pact with Yara and Theon Greyjoy. During a war council with Daenerys, Tyrion and Eliara argue over Myrcella's death. Tyrion condemns her murder, emphasizing that Myrcella was innocent, but Eliara coldly retorts that she was a Lannister, and that alone was reason enough for her to die. She also reveals her greatest regret, that Oberyn Martell died fighting to save Tyrion's life. Vengeance soon comes when Euron Greyjoy ambushes Daenerys' fleet, killing Obara and Nymeria with capturing Eliara and Tyne. He delivers them to Cersei, who exacts her revenge by poisoning Tyne with the same venom used to kill Myrcella, the Long Farewell, forcing Eliara to watch her daughter die slowly, ensuring that she suffers as Cersei did. Even after avenging Myrcella's murder, Cersei remains bitter, blaming Tyrion for her death. She claims that if he had not killed their father, Tywin Lannister, Eliara would never have dared to harm Myrcella. Despite their estranged relationship, Tyrion expresses his genuine sorrow, stating that he loved both Myrcella and Tommen. Cersei, despite her hatred for him, cannot deny the words being truthful. Later, when Euron Greyjoy returns to King's Landing with the Golden Company, he reminds Cersei of his role in punishing Myrcella's killers, presenting it as proof of his loyalty to her cause. Unlike her mother Cersei and her cruel older brother Joffrey, Myrcella Baratheon is a kind-hearted and compassionate person. Tyrion once described her as sweet and innocent, until she proves to be the opposite of Joffrey's sadistic nature. Similar to her younger brother Tommen, Myrcella possesses a gentle disposition and genuine concern for others. This is evident during her stay at Winterfell when, despite barely knowing Bran Stark, she expresses worry for his condition, and is visibly relieved to hear that he will survive his fall. As the War of the Five Kings unfolds, Myrcella remains kind to Sansa Stark, even though her brother Robb Stark is leading a war against the Lannisters. Having grown older, she secretly anticipates Joffrey and Sansa's wedding, excited about the dress she will wear garb, but still considerate enough to acknowledge that Sansa's bridal gown will be even more beautiful. While her relationship with Joffrey is not deeply explored, Myrcella is shown to love her family. This is most apparent when she is sent to Dorne for her safety. Despite the good intentions behind the decision, she's heartbroken and weeps as she departs. During her time in Dorne, Myrcella matures significantly, becoming more independent from her family. She falls in love with Trystane Martell and comes to admire his father, Prince Doran Martell, as a fatherly figure. When Jaime Lannister arrives in Dorne to retrieve her, Myrcella is more surprised than pleased to see him and firmly refuses to return to King's Landing. It's only when Trystane is allowed to accompany her that she agrees to leave, as her love for him is unwavering. Her relationship with Robert Baratheon, her supposed father, appears to have been distant, much like that of her brothers Joffrey and Tommen. However, when she confesses to Jaime that she knows he is her real father, she expresses happiness rather than shock or shame, suggesting that she respected Jaime far more than Robert. Despite her many virtues, Myrcella's greatest flaw is her naivety. After Oberyn Martell's death, she becomes a target of multiple threats, but she remains oblivious to the dangers around her. When her necklace is stolen, she assumes it was simple theft rather than a warning from Eliara Sand. Even after the Sand Snakes attempt to abduct her, and Eliara openly resents Doran's decision to send her back to King's Landing, Myrcella remains trusting. In her final moments, her innocence leads to her downfall. She readily accepts Eliara's apology and allows her to kiss her on the lips, not realizing she had been poisoned. Despite multiple warnings and clear hostility, she never suspects the danger, sealing her tragic fate. So what did you guys think of Myrcella Baratheon? Please let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.